Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Listen, it's been a whole week since we got Chapter 94 of My Hero Academia, so I was definitely looking forward to Chapter 95, which we finally got it, so of course I had to do a review on it, I was really curious as to how they were going to follow things up, especially after All Might's final fight. But you know what? This chapter didn't disappoint, so I'm definitely ready to talk about it, so let's go. Alright, Chapter 95 starts us off, kind of with the aftermath of Chapter 94. You start off and you see that the city is really destroyed and everything just really seems down, You see people on the train, they're reading newspapers and it's saying, hey, our city's destroyed and hey, this is All Might's true form, and stuff really doesn't seem like it's trending well. To make matters worse, it takes us to another scene where they have cops talking and the cops are like, we've lost our symbol of peace, what the hell is going to happen now? What the hell is going to happen now? Because All Might's final battle was televised, everyone seen how much he struggled, and now, that was kind of like the symbol for the bad guys to just come out of the woodworks. They know no one can no longer stop them. There's no one around to really give them any trouble. All Might was really the ultimate deterrent, and now without All Might, it's like, we're fucking free day, These bad guys can come out of the woodworks, they can do what they want, and not too many people are going to stand up. The police also revealed that there's really a decline in the number of superheroes they have, You got to understand, All Might wasn't just a symbol of peace for the people. He wasn't just a pillar for the people, but he was also kind of a beacon for the superheroes as well, It was kind of like that big brother you have. When you're growing up, you kind of can get away with stuff because your big brother have your back. And now the heroes no longer have that big brother to kind of watch over them, With the younger heroes, they could have just gone out and messed up, and of course, All Might would have saved them. But now, this time, without All Might anymore, they kind of have to be the ones to do the saving. So it's really going to put the superheroes in a tough spot. And it's really just going to make it really fun for the villains. So the city is really in trouble. Who really knows what's going to happen? But things were not looking good. Now, of course, All Might's leaving is going to have a negative impact on the city. And hell, even his fellow heroes, But you also got to remember, too, that All Might himself is going to be affected. I mean, you gotta understand what it's like for him. How do you go from basically being #1 to being the superstar to really just being nothing? And it starts us off and it shows us, and he's in the hospital bed recovering from his injuries, and he's looking at his hand and he's like, man, I no longer have one for all. It's kind of like reality is finally hitting him. He's like, where do I go from here? You have to think of it in terms of, kind of like our everyday lives. What if you work at the same job for a really long time and then one day you just no longer work that job anymore, It's a big change. It's a big thing to get used to. And I think that's kind of what All Might is going through now. And All Might is such a good guy, man, such a great guy. And the first thing he talks about doing is going after Tamura, because it was revealed to him from All For One that Tamura was really All Might's sensei's grandson. And now he's kind of like, man, knowing that, I kind of want to go after him, kind of want to save him. But Gran Torino ends up making a good point. He tells All Might that he has to remember that even if Tamura has lineage from his sensei, he's still a villain. He's still a bad guy, so it's really not in All Might's best interest to go after this guy. So now Gran Torino's like, you should really leave it to me. And All Might just kind of has to take a back seat. And that's got to be a hard thing to do, especially when you're like #1 and you're the man. You can basically just do whatever you want. And basically, you have no fear. But now he's just a regular guy. And he really has to be more careful with his actions and some of the things that he decides to do. Another thing that I really loved about this chapter is how great of a job it did really showing the impact that All Might's leaving had on damn near everybody. Because now it also showed #2, and he's kind of broken a little bit. It shows Todoroki, and he comes home and his sister, tells him that their dad is in the other room, and he peeks in to see his dad really just not in a good headspace at all, And I can kind of understand where he's coming from. To me, Endeavor kind of reminds me of Vegeta, He's got that pride that I want to be the best and I'm going to work hard for it and I'm going to do everything. I'm going to surpass you. Watch me. And now it's like that kind of all was taken from him. He worked so freaking hard to be #1, so freaking hard to surpass All Might. And now it's like, he can never realize that goal. That dream he had, that dream he worked so hard toward, it's gone, man. They snatched from him, And it's kind of like, what the F just happened, I've been working my ass off. I've been training. I've been doing all the things I need to do to finally surpass this dude. And now it's like, I'm not even going to get that opportunity. And I don't know how the ranking system works, but I would imagine that now with All Might being gone and he being number 2, he automatically slides into the number 1 spot, you know. And as a practical guy, you got to understand, that's not going to make him happy, you know. It's kind of going to feel like he's getting something that he didn't earn. And you can tell that through some of the panels and some of the things we've seen in previous episodes that he really wanted to outwork All Might to get that number 1 spot. He just didn't want to hand it to him. And now it's kind of like, whoop, here you go, bub. So he's not going to be happy with that. He's not happy with that. You know, you can tell by the pictures that it showed that he was just really not in the right headspace. There's holes in the wall, hole in the floor, hole everywhere, man. He might have damn near even punched a hole in the ozone. That's how pissed off he was. So, you know, and Todoroki's seeing this, and I bet he's even like, damn, man, I've never really seen my dad like this. My dad is always this strong, prideful guy, but like, look at him. So it's crazy that All Might retiring and All Might no longer being All Might and the symbol of justice. It's crazy how much of an impact that even had on Endeavor. Now, of all the things that this chapter has shown, my favorite part is toward the end of the chapter. You know, it shows Midoriya and he's thinking about All Might and just like, you know, everything that's happened, and he kind of falls asleep, and then suddenly he's woken up by text, and apparently it's All Might telling him to meet him somewhere, you know. So he goes out, and you see that he's meeting All Might at the same beach where he obtained One For All, you know. So they meet up, and it's kind of like, what's going to happen here, you know? Like, what's he going to tell him? And the first thing All Might does is punch this dude in the face, and it's kind of like, damn, you know, didn't see that coming. But I don't feel like the punch was so much as a punishment or a scolding, because when All Might punches him, he really kind of gets on him about how he never listens and how he does this and kind of does his own thing. But I don't really think that All Might did that to scold him, but I think it was kind of a reality check to show him, hey, you know, I'm no longer All Might. I no longer have that same strength I had. Because when he punches him, he also says Texas Smash, which, you know, we've seen Texas Smash a shit ton of times now, and you know how powerful it can be. But when he calls out Texas Smash, it's basically just like a tap on the chin or a punch to the cheek. You know, you see that it really doesn't do anything. You know, like, this dude is legitly powerless now. So that was kind of like, I think he was kind of doing that as a wake-up call for Midoriya. But another thing I loved about this scene is that, you know, it finally gives these guys to have that proper bond, that bond that they should have had for a long time now, you know, that kind of sensei and pupil bond. Because really, man, even though All Might passed his power on to Midoriya, he really hasn't taught Midoriya shit. And as a result, Midoriya's been jacking up his body almost every time he uses his power. And I think that kind of got to All Might a little bit, you know, because All Might really gave this dude this tremendous power, but never taught him the way he should have. And, you know, it's understandable why, because even though he passed on his power, he still had to be All Might. But now with that job out of the way and no longer having that responsibility, All Might can finally be the teacher to Midoriya that he should have been for a long time now. So now you got All Might and Midoriya, and they're kind of just like embracing, and All Might is like saying, you know, even though you never listened to me, I'm glad that at that moment you were able to be safe, because of all the times that Midoriya should have listened, that time probably was the most where that time probably was the most crazy, where he definitely should have listened, because, you know, one slip and he could have gotten killed. You know, it wasn't playtime. It wasn't like they were going against any piddly villains. They were going against tier 1 top of the line bad guys. But luckily, you know, Midoriya was able to help rescue Bakugo. And he was able to really get out of there unscathed. And another crazy thing that I loved about this picture is that, in a way, they kind of switched roles, because you see All Might for once, and he's all bandaged up. He's got his arm in a sling, and he's the one that's beat up, you know. Normally it's Midoriya, and you got All Might coming to see him, and he's kind of like, oh, you're beat up again. But this time, you know, it's All Might that's all beaten and broken and battered. So I thought that was pretty cool. I love the way this chapter ended. I love that, you know, it brought those two together, and that, like, they're finally going to get that relationship that they should have. And I'm definitely ready to see what's going to happen after here, because, you know, this whole time he really didn't have time for Midoriya. So now that he has time for him, like, what kind of training are they going to do? Where is this going to go from here? Like, obviously All Might can't do too much because he doesn't have any power. So is he just going to, like, watch and instruct them, or is he going to bring in maybe other heroes to be as a stand-in sparring partner. I don't know how this is gonna work, but you know, it's like All Might said, you know, even in his form, even though he's like weakened, you know, they're both gonna get through it together. They're both find a way to get it done, you know. So I definitely loved that. I definitely 100% loved the way that chapter ended. I definitely loved the way that chapter ended, and I'm definitely interested to see, you know, like, how is their relationship going to grow? Because I can kind of see All Might being a dad to Midoriya, because Midoriya doesn't have a dad. Well, I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed that he doesn't have a dad, but every time you see his family, you only see his mom. So who knows? But I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I'm definitely ready to see, you know, if they can actually get him to where he needs to be, if they can get him stronger, if they can help him control One For All, if he can finally be the badass that he's meant to be. Well, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and kicking it with your boy. Much love, much appreciated. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, you know, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, because I definitely appreciate it, and it lets me know that I'm at least doing something partially right. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, you know? Go ahead and subscribe. I definitely got some good things coming out. Definitely got some giveaways coming out. And I'm getting a little better at this thing, you know? And the same way you guys subscribe to me, I also subscribe to you guys, you know? If you're watching this and you've got a subscription for me, you know it's true. So, as always, guys, I appreciate you guys checking in. If you felt like, you know, you had a different opinion on it, or maybe you saw some things that I didn't see, go ahead and comment below, you know? I love talking about this kind of stuff. I really enjoy it. I really love thinking about it. So hopefully you guys feel the same way. And so go ahead and leave a comment, and I will definitely get back to you. As always, guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can check out the chapter if you haven't. All right. I'm your boy Heroes. Come back too. Thanks for stopping in. Peace.